Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. We're going to circle back now onto the pistol brace rule. As we know, there are 3 injunctions right now that cover members of very large national gun rights organizations, which basically has millions of people around the United States currently enjoined from enforcement of the pistol brace rule. There's been a lot of questions about who this includes, who it doesn't include, and then there's also been the question that I most frequently get, which is, hey, what about me? Because there are some other groups that we have not yet talked about in relation to fighting the pistol brace rule, and therefore, I have a lot of members of those organizations asking that exact question. Hey, what about me? Well, we might begin to develop an answer now to members of a couple of these organizations because there seems to be a new renewed push for injunctive relief for members from this organizations as well. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about, is an injunction coming on ATF's pistol brace rule for any member of these groups? Okay, so we're talking about the pistol brace rule yet again today, and as we know, there has been all sorts of litigation flying all around the country, and 3 suits have resulted in injunctive relief for a select group of people. Now, all 3 of those suits, the named plaintiffs, so if you're actually suing the United States government, that you are receiving injunctive relief, immediate family members, and things like that. However, there were 3 very significant very awesome Second Amendment organizations where the members of those organizations were also enjoined from enforcement from the pistol brace rule. Now, the 3 cases that we've already talked about on videos already, and we'll put the links for all of those down below, are Mock v. Garland, which of course enjoined all members of the Firearms Policy Coalition from the pistol brace rule. Then, of course, there was a case of Texas versus ATF. And that one enjoined all members of Gun Owners of America, plus all employees of the state of Texas from the pistol brace rule. And then most recently, we had Second Amendment Foundation versus ATF, which of course then enjoined all members of the Second Amendment Foundation from the pistol brace rule. However, there are 2 other organizations which have yet to be named as to receiving any injunctive relief. One of them is the National Association of Gun Rights, a very worthwhile organization who, like the other 3 organizations that I have mentioned, is oftentimes in the trenches fighting like holy hell to advance and protect the Second Amendment rights of citizens around the United States. The other 3-letter organization, of course, is the NRA, because at the current time, the big 800-pound gorilla in the room has not managed to obtain injunctive relief for any of its members. Now, I am not suggesting that the NRA has not tried. As we know, the NRA, as well as 26 state attorney generals, filed suit in North Dakota against the pistol brace rule, but to this date, that lawsuit has never really gotten off the ground, and certainly no injunctive relief has been granted in that suit. Now, I'm happy to announce that both of these organizations have stepped up big time and thrown their hat into the ring to try to get injunctive relief, and they're doing so in different procedural mechanisms, and I want you to understand what both of them are doing, okay? For the National Association of Gun Rights, they have teamed up with the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty, as well as the Texas Gun Rights Organization, and they now have filed a new lawsuit in the state of Texas against Merrick Garland and the ATF, and they are seeking a nationwide injunction, which they're not likely to get, but they are also seeking injunctive relief for all members of NAGR. Now, the National Association of Gun Rights public spokesperson, Dudley Brown, who, by the way, I got to admit, I love his quotes, and Mr. Brown, if you watch this channel, if you ever want to come on and do an interview with Washington Gun Law, we would welcome you in a heartbeat. Mr. Brown, upon filing of this suit, was quoted as saying, "Biden's ATF is a rogue entity making rules that plainly violate the Constitution. Their rule on pistol braces has turned millions of gun owners into felons overnight. We're taking legal action to rein the ATF in and restore the rights of our members. We are pleased to partner with Will to do just that." And of course, Will is the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty. Counsel on behalf of Will, Lucas Vetter, was also quoted as saying, "The Biden administration cannot ignore Congress, and this rule is a clear violation of separation of powers and a violation of the constitutional rights of Americans. Now that the ATF's rule is in effect, it's critical that we act." And Chris McNutt, who is the president of the Texas Gun Rights Organization, who is also a named plaintiff in this new lawsuit, was quoted as saying, "The ATF are acting like foot soldiers for the anti-gun Biden administration. Their abuse of power is both unconscionable and unconstitutional." Okay, and as soon as we are able to track down all of the pleadings on the new lawsuit, we're going to do another video on that so that you can get educated as to what the angle of attack is there. That is what the National Association of Gun Rights is doing. Now, the NRA is taking a different tack. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the NRA did file suit in the District of North Dakota. It had 26 attorney generals join on. We were really excited about that lawsuit when it first was filed. However, that one, for whatever reason, has never seemingly gotten off the runway. What the NRA is asking to do here is to join in as a named plaintiff with the Second Amendment Foundation in the matter of Second Amendment Foundation versus ATF. And Alan Gottlieb, president of the Second Amendment Foundation, welcomes the NRA's entry into that lawsuit if the court permits it. He was quoted as saying, "The Second Amendment Foundation today says it welcomes the National Rifle Association's request to join in a federal lawsuit filed by SAF and its associates in challenging the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosives' new arm brace rule. The NRA announcement confirmed the organization is going to court to obtain preliminary and ultimately permanent injunctive relief, restraining defendants from enforcing the factoring criteria for firearms with attached stabilizing braces against law-abiding NRA members." So, for anybody who is a member of the National Association of Gun Rights or anybody who is a member of the NRA, and listen, they are, of all the organizations we talk about, they are the big 800-pound gorilla in the room. So there are millions and millions of NRA members. I recognize that. Help may be on the way. NAGR has filed a new lawsuit in the state of Texas seeking injunctive relief for all of its members. The NRA has asked to join in with the Second Amendment Foundation's lawsuit in Texas asking for similar injunctive relief. We will obviously keep you posted about any developments on any of these cases. Let us also remember that on June 29th, they are already set for oral arguments in the matter of Mock v. Garland in the Fifth Circuit. This is the case that clearly appears to be forming as the tip of the spear on the litigation of this entire unconstitutional rulemaking order. Listen, you may have more questions about the pistol brace rule or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights. You guys should know how to contact Washington Gun Law by now, but if you don't, that's okay. That information is right down there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.